when we arrived in Europe, we arrived at Tenby, Wales, England, and they split us up because there was so much bombing and airstrafing. They split us up, and I was, in my outfit, they put us on an LST boat to cross the English Channel, and I ended up at Le Havre, France, and then they stuck me in a 6x6 truck, and they said, here, you take this truck and this 105 howitzer, and you follow this convoy. So then we convoyed clear over to Genere, Belgium, and all the way to Belgium. We were bombed and we were shot at, and we had many attacks, but we've always come out of it pretty good. When we got to Genere, Belgium, they started to split us up. They said, you guys can't be in a group because too many guys are getting killed. So they split us up, and I was in a company of 129 guys, and the Germans was on the south of us and on the north of us, and we didn't have just too much chance, but we had a lot of artillery with us, and we had a lot of firing power. And so we were attacked just about dark, and with the outfit that I was with, there was 129 of us, and we were hit pretty bad. I was so cold I had an M1 gas operated rifle, and I had a 45 here, and I had 6 hand grenades here. I had a double line of belt and ammunition here, and I had a gas mask on, and I was so cold I just about stood just like a piece of ice. And then then it came where it got dark that night. We were in a camouflaged area, and we had been with another company. We run on to what they call the 134th Infantry Company, and we joined them until we found our 75th Division, and we couldn't find a place to sleep. And this is the gospel truth. I had an OD overcoat on, and I said to my buddy, there was always 2 or 3 of us together, I said, shall we try to lay under the truck and pull the snow away and lay under the truck? So I took my OD overcoat off, and I scratched the snow away. It was about that deep, and I laid under the truck, and then my company commander said, leave your feet stick out, because if the Germans come too close, we'll kick you, and then you got to get going. So we slept a little bit, and then the next morning we got up and finally found our company back, but we were looking for some hot coffee, something, you know, and couldn't find our mess truck. They shot it all to pieces. Everything. It was a 6x6 mess truck, and so we didn't get any coffee. And I don't know if it's just a tough go all the way around. I was so cold. I had socks on 30 days, and when I took my shoes off, I couldn't get my shoes back on again because my feet were so cold. So I wrapped my feet in newspaper. Put newspaper around my feet, and then I put my shoes back on again. And I don't know how we ever stood it without getting trench foot or something go wrong with your feet, or, you know. But my hands were so cold sometimes I couldn't even move my fingers. It was terrible. Sometimes we just say, hey, I hope we make it through the day. We were so scared, you know, and we were hit so many times. And we lost so many men, so many men. We got into Recklinghausen, Germany, after we left Venlo, Holland, and there was a little boy standing on the side of the street, and he was about 12 years old, and I looked down I was driving a truck, I looked down on the sidewalk, and I thought, gee, I sure feel sorry for that little guy. I wonder what happened. And so I thought I'll just jump out and I'll just see if I can make it, talk to him. And I said, but it's los mit die. See, I could speak German. And he said, my mama, they just shot my mama and dad. They just shot my mama and dad, he said, because my dad wouldn't put on a uniform. So I said, well, do you have any place to go? And he said, no. So I went to my first sergeant, and I said, would you contact my company commander and see if we can take this little guy with us? We'll give him some OD clothes. I said, it'll hang on him, but he could at least get something to eat. So my company commander says, it's your boy, take him along. So I put him in the truck, put him in between us guys in the seat. And then we gave him what they call a fatigue jacket and a knit cap and some gloves. The gloves practically fell off of him, you know. And we took that little boy with us all the way through the whole war and kept him, and he was a good little soldier. And then after the war, this was really something. May the 8th, 1945, I went back to an echelon camp called Camp Oklahoma City. And we were there for a while, and we had this little boy with us. And the company commander said, who's responsible for this young fellow? I says, I am. And he said, well, we're going to have to take him back to somebody here. We can't take him to America. And I said, I know that. He said, why don't you go to the motor pool and you requisition a Jeep and take another GI with you, and we'll try to get the information from him where he has some relation. So I said, all right. So I requisitioned a Jeep, and they got information that he had an uncle and an aunt in Aachen, Germany, which was northwest from where we were. And so I put the little boy in there, and we gave him a bunch of clothes, and I took him up into Aachen. And of course, I didn't know what I was looking for, but he did. He remembered the place. And I got into the Aachen area, and he said, there, right over there. He said, that's my uncle. So I stopped there, and here come the missus out. And the missus met me with that little boy, and he run over to her, and he said goodbye. And I never saw him again. Never saw him again.